everyone, welcome back to Coddles R Us. Today I want to go over some base tips and tricks that you guys can possibly use to potentially make your bases more organized. And if you're playing with somebody, it makes it a little bit easier if you can just know where all the boxes are for individual materials. So I'm going to go over something that nobody's really talking about at the moment. And since everybody's going to have access to this beta, I want to make sure that this information gets out there pretty quick. So just bear with me, and if you have any questions, leave it in a comment below. I'd be happy to help you out. So first off, we go to the ore refinery, right? So we look at the ore refinery. We can see here we have circuits that we can place these items in. Now, when you're looking at a piece of equipment, your first slot is where it's going to receive its items from. Your second slot is where it's going to put your items out to. So right now I have this set to circuit 1 and I have it set to circuit 8 to essentially that's where all the materials are going to go. So if we look at this box right here, I have it set to receive all materials from circuit 8, but it's also going to let anybody use it in circuit 1. All right, so all the materials that get put here will be open to circuit 1. We could change this if we wanted to say, set this one up. Let's say we wanted to set this one up so where it was like we'll go to circuit 2, right? So now it's only going to pull from circuit 2, and we can go here and we can put circuit 2. Now it will only pull from circuit 2. It will not pull from anywhere else. But for right now, to give you a little idea about how that works, I'm going to go to this box. See, right now I have this box set up circuit 7, circuit 2. So nobody's going to be able to pull from this box at the moment, because if you press your build button, right, I have plenty of materials and I can build on this, right? So the reason why is because your build materials and your build tool only works on circuit 1. So all of this stuff that you're going to build in your base is going to be on circuit 1. So let's switch this over. Let's switch this back. We're going to go here. So if I switch this back to circuit 1, right? So now all of the stuff is here. Okay. Now I can build anything I want here. It's free to go. But if I demolish anything, what's going to happen is it's going to go right into my inventory. It's not going to go back to the box that it was originally drawn from. So that's a little something to consider when setting up your base. So you can set up all of your facilities to do the same thing. Okay, that's why I put a box next to each one of these. So let's say that this box right here, see how it says circuit 1, circuit 1. This box is essentially what you're going to have when you start. All right. Everything's going to pull from circuit 1. Everything's going to be released to circuit 1. It's very plain and simple, right? But let's say here we want to set this up. We're going to set this up. It's going to pull from circuit 1. We can have it pull from a different circuit. And that will alleviate some of the issues. But we'll dive into that a little bit later when you get into higher tier stuff, when you're dealing with a lot of people. Everybody will have their own equipment, have their own circuits to work on, and so forth. So we want it to output. Let's say we're going to output to circuit 6, right? So this machine is now going to pull from circuit 1. It's going to output to circuit 6. We set this box up so where it's going to receive from circuit 6 and output to circuit 1, which will make it nice and easy. We can make some of this stuff, but you know what? How about we do this? Split. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up. All right. So now that it's full, we see that this is completely empty. We're going to go ahead and make a small fuel cell. All right, so we're just going to craft one. And once it's finished crafting, it will end up in this box. And you can put this box anywhere you want in your base. I'm just putting it right here just so you guys can see it. right away. I don't have to run way over there to go get a battery, you know. So we look here, it's right there. So it finished up. That's where it goes. You can essentially do this for every output. And the reason why you have to fill up all the slots because your overflow goes to your circuit. Now, if you had this completely empty, what will happen is you will stack it up, and then your volume, once it hits max, then it'll output to the circuit. But anything that's in here will be used essentially by circuit 1. So keep that in mind. So water does not follow the same rules. Okay, there's no real rules to do your water, but there are a couple of things that you should know about your blood extractors, right? So you're in the beta, you know, you're going through and you're like, okay, let me start getting water reserves. You know, you can have these water canisters, right? They fill up, right, 500 milliliters. Okay, that's their storage capacity, but they all stack. You can also use this. Its max capacity is only 1 milliliter of water, but you can stack multiples of these as well as these. So let's say that you don't have this unlocked just yet and you need to store more water, or you want to do more stuff. You can add more purifiers to get more storage space, and what will happen is it'll actually stack on top of here. So let me just show you that real quick. So, oh, looks like I don't have any salvage material. See? Okay. Run out here. Let me grab some salvage metal real quick, and then. Should be enough. Should be enough. Okay. And if you hold E or whatever button you set it to, it'll automatically deposit inside your facility. Let's try this again. So, as we see here, we got 17k milliliters circuit max capacity. So, no matter what you do, the circuit is always going to be the same on your water reserves. You cannot change it as of right now that I've seen, that I've, tested. You can only do their access level requirements. I just do associate. You can do, guild. You can do public. If you do open this up to the public will be able to draw out as much water as they want. That you cannot stop that unless you put the permissions back to either guild or associate. So keep that in mind. But so we see here, and we're at 17 max capacity, 17. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna put this down. All right. Now our max capacity went to 18. Now, is this probably the best bet to use these for? No. But in the early game, when you're trying to get a lot of blood, you're purifying a lot of blood, like this could be one of those little things that you can say, okay, this is how we get this done, right? You might not have access to these ones, the water cisterns, so just something to think about, because they are in a copper product. So, it's up to you what you guys want to do. This one provides you the same thing. It only is 1K for your water capacity. So even the small ones are actually better than the improved version. Okay, so this blood purifier will give you the same as this one, but this one costs a lot more to make. Although it does extract a little bit, like 20% better, as you can see. So something to consider. Your generators. So as you see here, like I got a generator here, generator there, a couple of 4 generators over here. So if I don't want to sit there and fill them all up, right? Just come right over here. Refill all generators. It gives me the countdown of what my base is. But here's another thing that you can do. You can go here to general settings. You can disable these, right? If you're not using them, you can just disable these and they will not take up any more power, right? So now we're not taking up more power. So go in here. Let me disable more stuff. And then if we look at this, right, it doesn't really change the power in that we're going to receive. So you do not have to worry about like powering down everything to essentially making sure that you have enough power. What you have there, regardless of your machinery being on, will always be the same. Okay, the only thing that will change is how full you get these. So right now, the only thing that will change is how full you get these. You could potentially only have one of these if you turn all of your machinery off. You only have to power one of them. That would potentially give you more space and more time. But that's completely up to you. I'm not telling you, you know, how to fill up your generators. I'm just saying that you can turn these things off. It does allow you to either use one generator or no generator. Well, one generator, because you always have to have one generator on because the advanced sub fee requires it, or the other one. Now, when you're making your base, all right, there's a few things to look out for. One is you want to make sure that you're by one of these fields, the hydration fields, right? You're going to be building your base, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that, and there's really not going to be any places to get hydration. So by putting your base close to one of these, you're going to be setting yourself up for great success. But you know, that's pretty much all I have for today. So if you like the content, please hit like, subscribe. You know, it helps us out tremendously, and I'll see you on the next one.